Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Roundup of Plants We Love But Don't Know Why for March of 2026. This month's theme is odd consumables. These are foods many of us eat every day that don't match what we commonly think they are. We might call them fruits, vegetables, or even berries, but their true botanical identity can be quite different from our everyday perception. So, with all that said, let's do a quick recap of each plant and then calculate the average rad rating for this month. First up, bananas. While many of us may think of these yellow bunches as just a typical fruit, they're actually berries. Botanically speaking, a berry is any fruit that develops from a single ovary, which is exactly what bananas do. Honestly, though, I feel like the entire plant is trying to trick us in a way. They're not just fruits, they're actually berries, and it's not really a tree, but instead a giant herbaceous plant. I don't know about you guys, but I find bananas endlessly interesting. From their unique growth to a really rich history of cultivation, it's enough to make you go bananas for bananas. Now, strawberry, whose name is a total misnomer. They're not a berry at all, but actually a special kind of fruit. Botanically, they're aggregate fruits. That means the fruit develops from a single flower that has multiple ovaries. Here's a little twist. The tiny seeds you see on the outside are the real fruits. These are called achenes. And that red juicy part that we all love to eat is actually the swollen receptacle that holds them all. I wonder if there would still be so many festivals if people knew that strawberry is only a poser. On to pineapples. Ever watch SpongeBob SquarePants and wonder how does he possibly have so many rooms in his pineapple house? Well, this is because he is living in a syncarp, or simply a fused multifruit, which is exactly what pineapples are. Pineapples form from many individual flowers, each with its own ovary. Once pollinated, these ovaries swell and fuse together, creating the single pineapple structure we all know and love. Just watch out for those sword-like leaves, as it can cut you if you're not paying attention. Lastly, the ever-loving debate, is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? I remember when I first told my oldest brother I was getting into plants and started to grow my own, his reaction was, "Oh, cool. So is a tomato a fruit or a veggie?" Well, now we know. Botanically, it's actually a fruit, just not in the way we usually think. So, a tomato develops from a single ovary on a flower, which, if you remember back to the banana, is the definition of a berry. So, a tomato is a fruit, but more specifically, it is a berry. So, here we find ourselves at the rad rating average. Some solid scores this month with bananas, which are really a berry, at 8.8 out of 10, strawberries, which are really that aggregate fruit, at 8 out of 10, pineapples, which are that fused multifruit or syncarp, at an 8.1 out of 10, and tomatoes, actually a berry, at 8.5 out of 10. That gives the theme of odd consumables an average rad rating of 8.4 out of 10. I thank you all very much for joining us here at the Wonderful World of Plants Roundup for March of 2026. You can see the full write-ups for each of these plants, including the breakdowns of the exact rad ratings on our Substack. The link will be in the description as well as in our bio. Each month has a theme. For the first 4 weeks of the month, we will cover a new plant for that theme. Then on our final week, we will do a plant roundup, much like this one, where we reveal the theme and give a quick overview of the plants and average out the rad ratings for that month. Follow us on Instagram at Wonderful World of Plants for updates. Check out our weekly writings on Substack and look here on YouTube for monthly deep dives. And remember, plants are way cooler than they let on. Thank you.